Continue then and get more from the correctional facility, indeed, where our reporter Jade Lee Paulser is at the Estcourt prison. I do see at this time that there is some activity. The last hour is very quiet. You seem to be alone there outside. What's happening at this time? Is that MKMVA behind you there? And I see, is that supporters? What's going on there?
Well, welcome back to Estcourt, Flo, and to the viewers that have just joined us now. Earlier on, we did say that it was very quiet outside Estcourt Correctional Facility. We expected MKMVA as well as Niehaus to make their way from Nkandla. They have just arrived now, and we're going to be just roping in Mr. Niehaus into conversation. Mr. Niehaus, obviously, we saw former President Jacob Zuma handing himself over to this correctional facility. Just your thoughts and emotions about that.
It is indeed very emotional, and I must say personally, and I'm sure I'm talking on behalf of my fellow comrades who are here, we are very upset and angry. This is an injustice that has been perpetrated against President Zuma. I know there are some people who say that this was a victory for equality before the law. It's not. President Zuma has never been treated as an for the law. Over many years, we've seen the law being weaponized as an instrument of factional politics. At the constitutional court, the manner in which his legitimate constitutional rights have been trampled on has led to a situation where he has now been imprisoned. Last night in Nkandla, it was for all of us with the family who were there a very emotional experience. But we saw an unbroken president who left there with a clear decision that he was going to hand himself over, not because he accepts the sentence, not because he believes that there's any justice in this totally unjustified imprisonment of him, but because he did not want to see unrest, violence and instability. President Zuma loves South Africa, and he has dedicated his life to this country and also to the African National Congress.
Mr. Niehaus, now you say that you were in the presence of former President Jacob Zuma before he handed himself over to the correctional facility. Talk to us about the emotion that was in the room. Talk to us about, for those that were not privy to the conversations that were happening inside there, the mood. Just talk to us about the general ambience before that moment took place.
Well, I was not present here when President Zuma handed himself over. I was together with other fellow comrades and also his family at his residence at Nkandla before he got into the vehicles and drove here. It was emotional, but it was not a sense of defeat. It was a sense of dedication and commitment. President Zuma has always been a very strong person. And even as we were greeting him, giving him that last handshake before he got into the car, he was encouraging us. When I shook his hand, he said to me, while I was trying to encourage him, he was encouraging me, saying, "Be strong, my brother." It was painful for the family, for his children, for everyone there to see him getting into that car. And as the vehicle started to move, the family members, his children, started singing Mshinwa, and all of us joined in. It was a recommitment through that song, which is President Zuma's signature song, signature liberation song. Through that song, it was a recommitment to the struggle that continues.
You say that the former president said that be strong. Do you think that he was maybe talking in light of the fact that you have been suspended by the ANC?
I don't know. We didn't discuss my suspension. That was not the matter of the day. Our concern was about President Zuma, his well-being, and the injustice being served on him. As far as my suspension is concerned, it is temporary. I'm going to challenge it. I'm filing within the next few hours my appeal to that suspension. I'm convinced that the reasons for that suspension is not justifiable. I know that I went to Nkandla last weekend to convey the message of my organization, Umkhonto Wesizwe Military Veterans Association, of which I'm the national spokesperson. I went there with a mandate to convey that message. I went out of my way to call for peace, to be disciplined. I asked of everyone there, including my comrades from MKMVA, to stay within the parameters of the law. If I did not do that, if I did not convey that message of MKMVA, I think we would have seen far more problems, instability and chaos at Nkandla last weekend. So I must say I feel a very deep sense of injustice, that this is the way in which the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress is saying thank you to me for that effort that I made on behalf of MKMVA to maintain stability and make sure that our legitimate protest was within the parameters of the law.
Ms. Niehaus, before I let you go, I do see that there are several supporters here. You did tell me off air that you will be, demonstrating outside Estcourt prison until the weekend. Just talk to us about the significance of this in light of your suspension, and also the fact that you will still be rallying behind former President Jacob Zuma.
We will continue to rally behind President Zuma all the time. We will continue to mobilize. We will not tire of saying that President Zuma is being treated in an unjust way. We will not tire to call for President Zuma's release. We will campaign under the banner Free Jacob Zuma, and we will continue to work for that. The mobilization will continue, not just inside.
Okay. Sorry for the disruption, viewers. We see that the police have just taken Mr. Niehaus away now and seem to be...
What did he do now?
Seem to be breaking up the support. If Nomhle can just stay on these visuals.
What did he do now?
Mr. Niehaus has been taken away by police. We'll try and find out why exactly and where exactly they are taking him. Flo, I'm just going to hand it back to you as we follow up on this.
Let's just maybe stay with you there. I mean, did you see any indication of the fact that the police would be taking him away, and what purpose was that for? I mean, especially as they can certainly see that we're live on air, that certainly could have waited for us to finish crossing. I mean, was there any indication early on before we started talking that there were any plans or whatever to arrest him? And I wonder what that arrest would be for then.
He's arrested. No, what are they doing?
Yeah, the irony is, Flo, that this supporters have been here since they arrived, and the police have been on the ground, and there hasn't been any conversations or engagements with this particular group. And now that we went live with him, we just saw him taken away. We're going to try and move closer there as well, and try and see if we can't take our cameras closer. Just bear with us as we take our camera off the tripod, and Nomhle and Ngubani behind the camera, if we can just move closer to that grouping there. But before we spoke to him, there wasn't any altercation with police. I do see that supporters seem to be clashing there with the police. We'll just try and see if we can't get there and find out what exactly is happening. It seems that Mr. Niehaus has been arrested and taken away. But you must remember, Flo, large gatherings are banned, they are prohibited. We have seen the police, Mr. Beki Cele, coming out saying that we cannot have these large gatherings. So as you can
I do
see there,
understand that, but then wouldn't that mean
he
that
has
everybody
been
else would be
taken away.
arrested?
Flo?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, why would they choose to arrest one of the people
That is
there
true.
as opposed to arresting everyone else that has gathered there? I mean, this is quite interesting, really, this situation. But you know what, Jade? Let's perhaps come back to you. Perhaps you'll be able to get some more information for us. Maybe let's just focus on other things for now. But I'll certainly cross back to you, Jade, so that you can just get some time to get us more information while you are still there. Has that vehicle moved? Has the police vehicle moved then at this time, Jade?
Yes, the police vehicle has taken Mr. Niehaus away.
Okay.
We're going to try and find out more information, Flo, with regards to why was he in particularly arrested and taken away. We'll come back to you when we have the latest.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. Jade Lee Polser for us there outside the prison where the former president Jacob Zuma is being held at this time. As you saw there, he was arrested just as we were having a conversation with him as he was indeed speaking about his continued support for the former president. Jade Lee Polser will certainly get us information and details as to why he was arrested at this time and mid the interview we're having here on SABC News. Let's continue with more news. We'll certainly then try to pick up with Jade then at a later stage.